Hi, everybody. I just got back from a job interview for a promotion within the company that I work for, and it seems like I have potential for getting a job there, but I'm a little disappointed that the job that I was actually vying for is the position's already been taken. So, a little disappointed. And it got me thinking. I remember a time when I was living in a parking lot just after I left the Borg. And I had nothing but the clothes on my back and a bag full of clothes, and that's it. And I think to myself, I'm worried about, whether I'm getting a promotion, but I have a job, and that's important. Where I was then versus where I am now is an amazing story. Now, I could say that, being the president on a president of a company or some kind of a, I don't know, seminar, guru or something like that, or, some kind of great athlete would be the achievement, whatever. But, wherever you are in life, it's an improvement on where you have been. Um, Even in that parking lot, I was already improving. If that sounds crazy, then take it as crazy. But I was becoming a better person at that time because I didn't have the influence going around my head. But I was still working through a lot of stuff. um, I think the whole process of when you leave the cult, especially people that were raised in it from being very young, is the first thing that they always tell you is there's the sheep and the goats, and if you're a sheep-like person, then you understand the word of Jehovah, and you get it. It sinks in. It makes sense to you. And if you're a goat, no matter how it's said to you, it's not going to make any sense because Jehovah's only looking for sheep. So when I left, I really thought really bad of myself. Um, I thought that that was why it wasn't sticking in my head anymore. That's why I kept on questioning, because I was bad. Because I was a bad person, because it wasn't registering in my head. These questions that I had too many questions, and I was doubting Jehovah. That's what they want you to think. That's what you're raised to think. So in that process, of coming out of it and getting out of that haze of thinking that way, and you're still living in that fog of doubt. It takes some time for you to get out of that. And during that time, it can be very dangerous for you. And this is not my way of discouraging you from living the truth, the truth, the Borg, but it's my way of saying, be ready, be strong, and be ready. And I'm going to give you some pointers here. Okay. First of all, if you think that things, if you see things on terms of sheep and goats, you're not going to have the resources available to you to survive, especially you're if you are a woman that has never had a job, if you've been a housewife and your entire life, and you didn't commit yourself to any kind of education of any kind, male or female, and you've been dependent on your jobs with Jehovah's Witnesses, and guess what? You've been doing it since you were 16 years old working for witnesses, and now they're not going to really give you a good recommendation. They're not going to give you a good reference. Things like that you need to think about. So what happens? It's okay to knock on a church. Hey, you're a human being, and they have services for human beings. I'm not talking about church service. I'm talking about resources available to help you out. They are not, it's not always religiously oriented. There are some programs that come out of there that they use at the church, but that are based on other things. It's just that usually the church supports them. But there are programs. So if you're kind of about that, then good luck to you, because it's going to be hard if you hold your hand closed to something that you need to be open to receiving. And you deserve it. You deserve it. You've had a rough life. You've been dealing with this thing in your head that's making you feel bad, and it's time to progress. It's time to get stuff that you need to survive. So the resources are available there to you. There are missions, there are shelters, and I'm going to tell you something. If you would look at the old, like some of these older movies, some of these, and a lot of there are places that are a little shady, but there are a lot of programs out there for, especially for women. And I'm sorry, guys, I don't know how things are for you, but a lot of the stuff I do, because I'm a woman, and a lot of women are the ones that usually are fleeing their homes. I check into these resources, and there are programs out there, and these shelters are like really well equipped, and they're clean, and they have all these opportunities and all these resources available for you, so you can have access to internet, you can do research, you can go look for a job, you can go to school, you can do all kinds of things. That can be a great stepping board for you. You may choose to do that, but you have to investigate. You can't just go, I don't want to touch a shelter, because there's a stigma attached to it that is no longer there. And I wish that I had done that sometimes. I really can't take back my experiences, because I am who I am today because of all the things that I went through. But I don't think it's necessary for everybody to have gone through what I went through. That's your choice. That's your choice. But now it's a choice. It wasn't for me. I didn't know. But if you're listening to this, then you know that there are resources available. So, anyway, it just feels good to be able to talk to you about, the fact that, I'm nervous about a promotion, instead of being nervous about where I'm going to spend the night, and, who is going to be around where I'm spending the night. And think about that. All the stuff some of us went through needlessly, because we were afraid. We were afraid of walking to a church where we would have probably been safer than the things that we experienced out there. And I want you guys to have the best for yourselves. Be good to yourselves and treat yourselves well. And I'm not saying go and get involved in the church or whatever. If that's your thing, go do it. But I'm saying, if you need food, if you need clothes, and a place to stay at night, there are friends. But if you don't have any friends, then that's a resource available to you. And I highly recommend that you at least go and look at where at this at where you would be sleeping at night. At least give it a look. Walk in and look. If you can't do it, just walk out. Go sleep in the corner somewhere in a cardboard box if that's what you want to do. Okay? All right. You guys have a good day. Take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Be good to yourselves and love yourselves, because you're beautiful. You're nothing less than beautiful. Thank you.